Now, over the years, you go through contract negotiations and benefit changes. Lately, it seems like it's give and take. Nowadays, it seems like we're paying a whole lot out and getting very little back. So that's another reason why they have me out here. Basically, with input from the Labor Advisory Board, groups, and members such as yourself, they've come up with a list of concerns for working families. Now, this list of concerns are by far the biggest concerns out there. Now, Joe, the first concern deals with funeral and final expense. Why do you think that's the first concern?
It's expensive.
Yeah, and how much does a funeral cost around here nowadays?
Around 12, 15,000.
And when do they want the money?
You want it up front?
Yeah, exactly. So obviously, I mean, most families don't have $10,000, $12,000 laying around in a piggy bank to be used for this expense. So you can obviously see why this is the first concern.
Of course.
Now, the second concern deals with reduction in retirement accounts. Why do you think that is on this list of concerns?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Well, think about it. What happens when you retire?
Don't get paid as much.
Exactly. A lot of times they reduce everything that you've worked for, your health benefits change and everything, and you're paying more out of pocket. It's kind of like, here, thanks for working all those years, let us have you pay a little bit more out.
Yep, definitely.
Now, the next concern deals with cancer. Why do you think that's on the list, Mary?
So everybody's getting cancer these days.
Yeah. The men have 1 in 2 chances of being diagnosed with cancer, and in women it's 1 in 3. Now, this is the leading cause for bankruptcy in the United States. Also, 76% of people being diagnosed with cancer are over the age of 55. So you guys can obviously see why this is a concern.
That's crazy.
Now, the fourth concern deals with group benefits that are not member-owned. What do you think they mean by that?
Group benefits are not member owned. You just don't keep your benefits, I guess.
Pretty much. You know, when you retire, they give you the option to buy into your insurance or the benefits, but all that changes in price and it usually increases tremendously. Now, what these benefits are set up for is they're member owned, so it doesn't matter if you leave your job, leave the union, retire, you keep these benefits. You're in control of these. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Now, the last concern deals with affordability. Now, we found that members know that these are concerns, so they go out on the open market and they shop around and are coming up with $500-$600 worth of benefits for the month, and that's simply not affordable. So, you know how we are. We're going to put things off. You know, next month is looking better, so we'll take care of it next month, and next month rolls around and we still don't take care of it. So what happens is these benefits get more expensive because we're getting older, or worse yet, we can't qualify because our health has changed. Now, these concerns, they may or may not be an issue for you guys, but one of our no-cost benefits has been arranged for the members. It's the needs analysis survey. And now what that's going to do is let me know whether or not you guys have any gaps in your current coverage. Now, if there's no need, it won't make any recommendations. If it does make a recommendation for a need, I will review that with you. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
All right. So now I do need to ask you a couple questions. Joe and Mary, have either one of you ever been diagnosed with any type of cancer in the past 2 years? Breast, colon, pancreatic, insulin, diabetes?
Nope.
Cardiovascular disease, heart attack, stroke?
Nope.
Currently using oxygen other than the free stuff?
Nope.
Terminal illness?
Nope.
Alzheimer's?
Not yet.
All right. Have you used any form of tobacco in the last 12 months?
I do. Yes.
And you're not on probation or parole?
No.
Now, Joe, what is your monthly take-home pay after tax?
What about 2,500?
Okay. And Mary, what about you?
1,300.
All right. Now, do you guys have life insurance through work?
I got 10,000 on me, and I've got 10,000 on her through work.
Okay. So, Mary, you don't have anything through your job?
No.
Okay. Now, do you guys have any life insurance outside of work?
No, we just took out a policy a long time ago to take care of the house. It was like a $100,000 policy.
Okay, so is that on just you or is that on you
Yeah.
both?
It's just on me.
Okay. Now, do you guys own your house?
We do.
What is the mortgage balance on that?
We have about 50,000 left.
Okay. And how many years remaining?
We got about 10.
All right. Now, did you guys take off any type of insurance to pay off your mortgage if you were to die?
Just that policy that I was just talking about. That was what that was for.
All right. And now, do you guys use a checking or savings account?
Yep, both.
Both. Okay. All right. Now, before I go any further, Joe, I do have a mandatory read-off letter from your group. And basically, this is just going to explain the enrollment process.
Okay.
All right, so pretend we read that. So basically what this is saying is if I'm going through these benefits and you guys are nodding your head thinking, wow, you know, these are some great benefits. I can see why the group approved these and members are taking advantage. Then go ahead and enroll today. Now on the flip side, if I'm going through these benefits and you guys are thinking, you know, these are some good benefits, but they don't feel a need for me and my family today, then I'm going to ask that you don't enroll today. Either way, yes or no, a decision has to be made today while I'm out here, just in fairness to all the other members waiting to be seen. Now, the good news about these benefits is they're pretty much a no-brainer, so you guys are going to know one way or another if you need these. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Now, the other thing that your group does want is you to fill out the officer report form like the letter said. Basically, this is just like my report card. They want to know what you thought of the benefits, and it's going to go back to your group.
Okay.
All right, guys. So basically, the first concern that the benefit software found for you and Mary Jo has to do with the cost of funeral and final expense.
Okay.
Now, at some point you guys are going to have to deal with this concern. They've got this video here that is going to kind of explain the need for it.
Okay.
The thought of dying or losing a loved one is never an easy.
All right. All right, so let me fill this out and then we will go over what they've recommended. So how many years before you retire, Joe?
I've got about 3 or 4.
Oh, well, you don't last very long. So y'all got plans for after you retire? You just gonna hang around here?
Move somewhere warm.
Somewhere warm?
Get away from the snow and everything. Move to South Carolina. Possibly move down to Florida if we want to go a little further.
All right. I do not blame you one bit. All right, so basically, what the business software recommended has to do with the funeral and final expense, which we just went over with the benefit. Basically, how the funeral and final expense is they're actually recommending $15,000 of coverage for you, Joe. For Mary, they're recommending $7,500. Now, the way that works is they've got the freedom of choice here that's set up to take care of that concern for you. Now, the way this works, there's an amount here on the back, which we're not going to fill that in, because obviously if this is worth $15,000, you don't want to take it to the funeral home director and say, hey, this is worth $15,000, because guess how much your funeral's going to be?
$15,000.
Exactly. So what you guys would do is go in, make the best plans for your family, and the money left over would be sent into the house to go toward other remaining finances.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Can you see how this guy would make things easier during that time of need?
Definitely.
All right. So I've also included the cancer plan.
Okay.
So now basically, each one of, there's 3 different options here. There's the bronze, the silver, and the gold. Now most people actually go with the silver, which I'm going to explain that. That's kind of the in-between. Basically what that does is that gives you guys each $50,000 of coverage for the cancer benefits. So Joe, that's $50,000 on you, and Mary, that would be $50,000 on you. That would pay out if you guys were to be diagnosed with cancer.
Okay.
Now also included is the guarantee, the funeral and final expense benefit, which they've got $15,000 recommended for you, Joe. And Mary, they've got $7,500 recommended for you. Now the cost of the silver plan is $163.13.
Okay.
Now, the other option that people go with is usually the gold, just because it's got a whole lot more money. Like if cancer's something that runs in their family, they do a little extra for their family and prepare for that. And
Okay.
the difference with this one is the cancer coverage is $1,000 for each one of you guys if you get diagnosed with cancer.
Okay.
And the guaranteed death benefit is still the same, $15,000 for you and $7,500 for her. Now
Okay.
that cost is $176.40 a month.
Okay.
So basically, about $13 difference between the $100,000 and the $50,000. Or the bronze, which is a smaller plan. It's kind of just something there. It's the cancer benefit is $25,000, so it's a little bit cheaper. It's for at least would cover something, and the guaranteed death benefit is the same. Now, basically, the reason why we include the cancer benefit with this is cancer is the leading cause for bankruptcy in the United States right now. Out of pocket, the first year is at least $20,000, and that is after your medical bills have all been paid. That's what people have been left with out of pocket.
Oh, okay.
Now, men have a 1 in 2 chance of being diagnosed with cancer nowadays, and women it's 1 in 3. You guys are at the age, you've hit between the 55 and 60 mark. Now, 76% of people that are diagnosed with cancer are over the age of 55, so that's something kind of going to be coming up in your guys' life.
Okay.
Now, treatment is improving for cancer. More people are surviving and they're living longer, but they're dying financially because of these costs. Now, the worst part about cancer is it doesn't care if you're young, old, healthy, got money in the bank, got a family. It doesn't care. It affects everybody. So you guys can see why the cancer benefit would be beneficial.
Definitely.
All right. And now all of these benefits are member owned, so they're under your guys' control. Now, if given the option between the gold, silver, and bronze, which one do you think would fit your guys' family better?
Well, it's not that much more for the bronze than the silver. I don't think we'll need 100,000. The silver would probably be best.
Okay. Well, that way you've got a little bit more, because like I said, the out of pocket is usually $20,000, so that's why they start with the $25,000. Make sure that most of those are hopefully would be covered. The $50,000 is what most people go with, so
Yeah.
we'll go ahead. That is something that's comfortable for you guys, so we'll go ahead and get started. Now, do you have any questions about how the cancer benefit would work if you guys were to get diagnosed?
No, I don't think so. It pays out $50,000. Is that all at once, or?
No, how this would work is if you were to get diagnosed, it would pay like a monthly paycheck into the home each month.
Okay.
Now, on an average for 50,000, it's around 6,000. Now, that does depend on the tests that you take, the diagnosis, the treatments. If you're hospitalized, that's pretty much how they break it down.
Okay.
But they would just send a monthly income
Okay.
into the home as long as you're diagnosed. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
silver's best.
Okay. We will go with the silver. Now, should we stop there?